Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be looking at Theta. Before we jump into the price action, just want to say thank you for watching. If you are enjoying the content, smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. And leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. Okay, so let's get into the fun stuff here. So before we jump into the micro counting here, I just want to go over a little bit of the macro, the stuff that we're looking for. So we need to just be aware that we are looking for that possibility that we have set a low here and we're looking to move to the upside. We do need to be careful, however. We were talking about it previously. We could argue that the B wave is here and potentially this is looking at another A, B, and a C to the downside, in which case we could look to break down one more time. Alternatively, we could actually set this B as a running flat here, and then we could actually look to break down one more time in a three-wave structure from this point. So the key thing here is within this, basically, depending on where we complete here, we could actually look for a move down to this 39-cent region. And this could actually look to push us down one more time here. So we need to just be aware of that if we have actually looked at a running flat in within this correction here as a B wave, we could actually see a deeper move down towards this 39-cent region. So that is the one way of looking at it. The other way would be potentially that within here, if this becomes another A, B, and a C, then we could actually look to push down once again towards that zone. I don't have it marked up, but we can just check it quickly, which would be okay, so it would be higher up, but effectively what we'd be looking for would be this 54 cent region at a 1-to-1. So it would still mean a lower low here. So we'd have to monitor the move if we do look to break down towards this lower area here. So we need to just be aware that there is still that potential. There's a couple of ways of looking at this in this macro where we've been over them before. Potentially we could still look at it as a five-wave move, and potentially, for as long as we're below this previous fourth wave here and this zone here, if I come on to the daily, as long as we're below this 2447, we could still look for progression to the downside here. So even if we do get a bigger three-wave move up into this 382, which is sitting up here towards this 1849, potentially we could then still see a rejection and then continuation to the downside in a five-wave move, which could actually look to bring us down into this zone lower here at this 0569 to this 0395. So it is also possible within this, potentially we could be out one by the count, and basically this becomes a fourth wave as a running flat as well, in which case we could get a direct sell-off here. So we're monitoring this. It could also be that we get something like a diagonal playing out here. There's a few options. So we need to just be aware that as long as we're actually below this 1712, this and this even this high here, this 133, potentially we can look for this continuation. But the important one here is this high here. For as long as we're below that, we need to be aware we could still see further extension to the downside. So even a three-wave move up here doesn't necessarily get us out of trouble. We could then still look to break down after that point. So we need to just be a little bit patient here. We're going to be discussing the bullish case here as well, and we're going to be talking about that now. So if we are talking about this possibly rather ending here, where we're looking for, instead of this being another C wave to the downside here, potentially the WXY down into this low. This is that 1-to-1 here. So we could argue, that within this move, it completed a three-wave structure, and this is now the low. So with that said, what we are looking for is that potential to actually move away from this. For as long as we remain above this this low point, and this, which is sitting at this 70 cent, and even this one here at this 85 cent, we can look for this continuation up. So in the previous video, we were discussing a couple of things, so I want to just go over them because one of them is invalidated. The other one played out very well, though. We were looking for that possibility of having a direct breakout here. And we were talking about this when we were here. Once we set this fifth wave, we were talking about that possibility of finding support in this zone. And we said once we start to cross this $1.05 range, it starts to become less likely. So we did come down here. We lost this. We took this low out, which invalidates the potential of this extending out like that. However, we also did outline this option, which actually played out very well, which was looking for that possibility of a flat correction to the downside here. So we were talking about this lower range here, and we were talking about this previous structure over here and saying that we could look to find support there. Be and we were potentially looking for it a little bit lower. I think I mentioned the 618 as a possible area, but we did talk about this high as well. So we have had a reaction off here. So this is a good sign. This is a good start. What we want to see here, because what happens with flat corrections is basically with a flat correction, when we do get a flat correction to the downside, particularly a violent one like this in that C wave, what tends to happen is we do get a good move in the opposite direction. So if this doesn't happen, then we need to be cautious because we have potentially a 5-wave move here. If we just get a 3-wave move up, that could mean we get continuation down. So what we want to do is we want to get back above this high for more confirmation, which would be this $1.30. Getting back above this $1.30 gives us more confidence that we could be either in this zone where we're looking for this 3rd wave here, or alternatively, if we move up in a smaller 5-wave move, which doesn't manage to move up to this 180 range, then potentially we could just have a C wave here. This becomes an A, B, and a C. So we'd have to be careful at this point. If we do just get a smaller 5-wave move, which fails to achieve this 1618, because we could then actually just look to progress to the downside from there. We need to be aware that, if we do just get a 3-wave move here where this becomes, this becomes A, B, and C, then we could still look for that potential to actually break to the downside here. Um, what we could do is we could technically form a 5-wave move here, which doesn't reach this, and then actually looks to find support again, potentially in this zone here, and then look to push to the upside. So then we would have basically potentially a 1-2, another 1-2, and then we're starting a bigger trend. So that would be the sort of way you'd expect a bigger trend to start. Sometimes you can just have a direct move up, but a lot of the times it needs to build that bottom structure, looking for that bigger move to the upside. So basically what we're looking for here is confirmation by moving up towards this $1.80. For as long as, like I said, we're below this zone of this $1.30, we need to be aware we could look to break down deeper here. So that's whether this becomes a W, we form an X wave here and we come down one more time. And we still look to maintain the same support zone of this 94 cent to the 77.9. If we do move back up here, what we want to see is a good 5-wave impulse that takes us back above these levels so that we can get that idea out the window. So until we do, we need to just be a little bit cautious. So what we are looking for in the short-term moves here, I'm going to come back down into the hourly. What we're looking for here is basically the potential that within this structure, we could be looking for a push to the upside now. So within this, what we could be looking for, and so I'm going to discuss this first, and then we're going to go over that bearish option for as long as we don't break this. If we hold this 85 cent range, potentially we can start to look for this push to the upside. What we want to see here, though, is, we can argue that we have a 5-wave move into this high, and then basically this as a wave 2 into this low here. And what we'd want to see then is looking for this move to actually move away from this location. What we want to see is basically getting a nice 5-wave structure to the upside here. And once again, this doesn't have to be a direct move up to this target, which would actually be up here at this $1.49. What we can do is we can form something like this as another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we would have that structure play out. So basically counting it 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, and then carry on up. So that would be what we're ideally looking for if we want this impulsiveness to play out. So what I'm looking for here is I'm still looking for that potential. If we come down here into the 30 minutes, what I was looking for was the possibility that actually this is a 3rd wave, we've got a 4th, and we get one more high here, and we actually look to push up into this zone one more time. So if we do get this move up here one more time, potentially would change this target zone slightly, but the idea is the same. What I want to see is basically this move to the upside to complete, and then look for a 3-wave move to the downside. So currently that is between this $1.01 to this 99.7. If we hold this key area, potentially we look for that push to the upside. So what we need to be aware of here is this red box that I've got here, this $1.75 to this $1, this $1.07 to this $1.44. basically this is a typical B wave rejection. So we need to be aware that, we could see something like this play out where we move directly up here and then we actually sell off lower. So if that is the case, I would still prefer it if it was something like this as an A, a B, and a C, just so that it was a bit more proportionate to some of these moves within here. But sometimes we don't get these things play out the way we want. So we just got to be aware of that. Ideally, what I want to see is basically a move back down into this zone in a three-wave move, and then looking for that five-wave move to the upside to confirm this. So if we did move back down to this $1 area, so I've chosen this because it's the 618, as well as a retest of these lows. Potentially then our third wave target would be towards this $1.12. We'd look for a fourth wave, potentially back into some of these key resistance areas that we had here, flipping it into support and then looking for this fifth wave to the upside. So that's what we'd be looking for. Basically, if we're looking at this, this move can extend out. I've just obviously drawn this off of fibs, but we can form something like this as a 1-2, then another 1-2 here, and then basically it won't come back and revisit these areas with that fourth wave. That fourth wave will be higher up. So need to be aware that we could just still see this look to push to the upside here. That's the whole idea. The subwave counting we'll have to do once we get a bit more structure. The idea here is basically that we could be looking for this bigger move towards this 149 area, but like I said, we'd have to be careful we don't get a three-wave move here and then break down from that point. If we do actually get a five-wave move up into this 115, what I want to see is a three-wave move into this $1 area again, and then looking to push up again for that potential of a bigger structure. Looking then to become a 1-2, looking for this third, fourth, and then fifth, taking us up into that 1618 area of this third wave here. So that's what we're looking for. Now, I want to discuss the other alternative to this, which is looking for this potentially in a more bearish way. Because of the fact we have a five-wave move here, if we start to lose this 91 cent range, potentially we could actually look to break down here deeper. And what we need to be aware of is because we have a five-wave move here, we need to just be cautious of the fact we don't form additional five-wave structure. So what I'm just being mindful of is that possibility of a breakdown. So for as long as we remain below this low point, this high point here of this $1.29, and we stay with below this, even this, sorry, this $1.18, basically this is the 786 retracement to the upside. If we break above this and sort of start to consolidate and move away from this, then that gives us a good indication we're going to potentially break this high. But for as long as we don't, we need to just be aware that we could see something like this play out. Even if we come back down low and then push up, we could see a move up like this and then actually looking to reject from here for a deeper move. The way I'm currently looking at it, because I'm looking for this potential of a sell-off within this option, we could argue that within this we have basically this just as a wave two to the upside, and then we could look at the potential for forming 1-2 structure to the downside, where this becomes a 1-2, this becomes a 1-2, we get a 3-4-5 down here, then we get another fourth and a fifth, and then potentially this would look to take us past this zone of this 90 cents. So if we drop below this 90 cent region, basically it becomes more likely that we're actually going to see a sell-off continue here. But even still, if this is the case and we did actually push down in this five-wave move here, it wouldn't be enough to confirm a deeper sell-off, because basically, if we look at this as a wave one and a two, we'd have to move down towards this 54 cent range for confirmation of a bigger sell-off here. So that would be this third wave target here. Then we'd want to see a three-wave move up and a five-wave structure to the downside, looking to bring us into this 51 cent to this 46 cent region. So this is what we're looking out for. There is still this possibility. Obviously, within this move, there are some invalidations. If we break back above this high point of this $1.10, this would invalidate this potential of being a wave two here. However, really, until we actually break above this high, it could just mean that, we're just moving this wave two out here, and we get this as a three-wave structure, something like this, maybe up into that 786 at that $1.18 area, and then potentially looking for a drop to the downside from there. I have just basically thrown this channel in here off of these lows and pulling it up into the high here, just to see how it reacts. If we were to get some kind of a bigger 5-wave move, potentially it would develop in some kind of a channel like this. I'm not saying that this channel is exactly correct, but potentially it'll be something like this if it does look to break down in a 5-wave move. We form this as a 1-2 up into here. It'd get a deeper 3rd-wave move potentially into the channel lower down here, and then that 4th-wave move, and then continuation, something like that. So that's what we're looking for within this channel. That could look to actually push us down towards this 46-cent range to this 51-cent range, which wouldn't be far off that 1-to-1 of that A wave that we were talking about, which is sitting here at this 39-cent range. So, this will be something we'll have to track on the way down if it does start to break down in below these lows, and we look to actually start to break down deeper here. So just need to be cautious that this is still possible. This sell-off is still viable. We need to just keep an eye on it. If we do maintain this lower support range and we do continue to set higher lows, higher highs here, potentially we could look to break away. However, if we face rejection here and we get a deeper sell-off down towards this zone, like I said, it was 54 cent. Basically, we need to just be on the lookout because this could be a bigger 5-wave move. The 1-to-1 of this move would actually be here at the 71 cent. So we have to pay attention to this as well, because this would be a double bottom situation. And what that could then mean is that maybe that this corrective structure isn't completed yet, and this could actually just be a zigzag to the downside, and then we form something like a flat correction here. Or alternatively, it could mean that we are starting to break down maybe as a diagonal, or this could just be an A wave. We get a B wave up, and then we get another C wave down and develop a zigzag to the downside or something to that effect, which could look to push us lower down towards that area. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Check it out, it's free to join. Like I said, down there's also the affiliate link for BYBIT and PrimeXBT, both great exchanges. If you don't have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone, have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.